Ayla, with anyone involved in the archive and AYLA, which is the American Indian Library Association. Reforma, I never know, you probably know more about them.
Yeah, they have a national organization as well as student chapters. So they have a conference in September, every September also.
I did an internship this summer with the Association of Research Libraries, and they make an effort to have diversity initiatives. So I did something called the Career Enhancement Program. They also, in that program, you go to a host institution for between 6 to 12 weeks, and you're paired with working librarians. I worked at the University of Arizona. I had a really good experience. I got to learn lots of things, meet new people. They also have a number of, they have another program that I think has a different mentorship model. So they have two programs for students. In addition to that, they also have diversity initiatives as you're a working librarian. So even if as a student you don't participate in any of those, you know, they have different tracks from mid-level, higher level, and you know, so it's a place to keep your, you know, I would keep a look. Sorry, I would look at their website or look at their stuff. If you have any questions, their director for diversity initiatives is really personable and really friendly, and I'd be happy to, you know, put you in touch with him.
And there are like various, I always call them the wrong things, the subgroups of ALA that focus on different topics. So I was on the advisory committee for the diversity research grants that ALA puts out. Mm-hmm. So there's, you know, lots of ways that you can get involved, even from like a research angle.
And Sunny had one of those grants a few years ago, so if you want to apply, she can probably, I like to volunteer other people for stuff.
Clearly.
She can probably help with that. I don't know, Dawn, if we should open it up to the audience too? I'm not sure.
Yes, I was going to.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I asked enough. So if anyone else has other thoughts and things to add?
Oh, I want to add, ALA has a lot of diversity awards, and I think they're limited to like first years who have not yet taken 12 units. So like, look at it if you're first year and apply, because I looked at it by the time I was at the end of my first year, and I was like, I have too many units. But just get in touch with that before you have more than 12 units.
Are you talking about Spectrum too?
Yes, but well, Spectrum, is that for second years as well, or is it just first years? Okay, so yeah, it's like all of their awards. Yeah. So just,
that is different. Because I was looking at it recently, and I think the count was last semester, so our first semester, I don't think we can do our second semester.
You have to basically be part-time students.
Yeah,
to
to
apply.
It's really hard.
But something to think about, sorry, in the future, the Spectrum, the American Library Association, they received a fellowship through the IMLS, I forget what it stands for. But anyway, they're going to fund PhD students of color in librarianship for 2013, starting in the fall of 2013. So you're graduating the next 2 years and you want to apply. Tammy and Britton both came here as Spectrum PhD students, and they got the fellowship. Is it 2 years of funding?
Yes, 2 years of funding.
Yeah, so something to think about in the future if you're interested in PhD. I know it's probably, you just thought about a master's, so it might be too much to think about PhD in the future, but if you're interested, there's money out there for that too in the future.
I'm also, if you're all, you know, working on applications for scholarships or anything like that, or fellowships, I'd be happy to help if you need a set another set of eyes.
Speaking of which, where can we find you all on campus in case we ever wanted to speak with you, or I don't know that.
I'm in the teacher education building.
Okay.
So that's on Johnson and Mills. We're on the 3rd floor. We're a tiny, quaint, friendly library. I like to think Carrie and Molly both work there. My office is right behind the info desk. You can also email me or call me. I'd be happy to keep you in contact.
We're all on the directory.
Okay.
But Nikki and I are in Memorial Library. Yeah, I'm on the 2nd floor in reference, but you, unless I'm working the desk, you probably won't see me because they hide us in these like group offices. So either, you know, you can ask at the desk, is Nikki around? I may or may not be around if I'm around and I haven't, and if you tell them something like, you indicate that you want to chat with me about something other than grants, because for grants, people have to make appointments. So if you let me know that let the person know that you're talking to that, you know, you just wanted to say hello or whatever, that works, or you can call or email me and we can actually schedule a time too.
And I'm in 431, 4th floor in Memorial, and I am in the middle of the floor with no windows, so you can log on to WisCal and schedule an appointment with me to get out of the building and have coffee with you, or you can call and email me.
I'm very close. I'm across the hall by the CCBC, but I do tend to visit Mel and Dawn a lot, so I might be in your office.
Tammy had a question. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, my question for the panel. As new professionals in the field, did you feel fully prepared in your new position as librarians? Were there classes that you would have liked to have seen in the library schools that would have fully prepared you in your new role as a librarian? Or were all your classes on point?
I'll choose to answer the first part of that. For me, the classes that were most helpful in preparing me for working as a librarian were the practicum experiences, where, you know, like I did a instruction field, whatever they call it, at the Lilly practicum at engineering, which I have like no engineering experience whatsoever, and I did a reference practicum at Memorial Library. Those things I think really, and I thought I was going to be a young adult librarian, but going through sort of the reference boot camp at Memorial really prepared me for whatever was going to come my way at the public library reference desk. So I felt pretty comfortable with that. I think that no matter what class you're taking, it's going to be more, a lot of times it's more theory than practice, though I know that there are efforts being made to try to make things as practical as possible. So there's always going to, you're always going to be learning things throughout your whole career. You're going to keep growing as a professional, or you're going to cease to be, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the constant sort of struggle in library school. We're a professional school, and so you always have this sort of theory versus practice going on. But I mean, it's the same thing when you're working too. I mean, I again, the work experiences were more, prepared me better to be an actual working librarian than the classes. But the things that I felt unprepared for, I mean, and I'm a metadata librarian, so that's a little more specific is to the skills that you need being a metadata librarian. So the things that I felt unprepared for were more very specific, like technical skills, like markup languages, or that sort of thing. And that's the sort of thing that you learn on the job, rather than feeling fully prepared coming out of library school. But again, I think just coming out of library school, if you have sort of practical experiences, but that's going to help you get your job. But I think the theory and sort of the more academic stuff is going to help you excel at your job. If you can pull that sort of knowledge and being able to keep up with issues and that sort of thing into your practical working experiences, that's going to make you the better librarian.
Thank you. Okay, so my question deals more with travel, international studies, on that aspect. I guess because I'm I've always been interested in getting out, seeing the world, doing a lot more hands-on stuff. I did anthropology and classics as my undergrad, so I did a dig in Egypt, and it was just like hands-on. And then in Greece, it was like, this is what I'm learning about. So, have you guys experienced opportunities to maybe go abroad? Maybe that wasn't your thing, but maybe point me in direction. Anything you've heard of, just in general?
Yeah, well, there was, I went to South Africa and helped build a library in a rural area, and that was an amazing experience. I was there for 6 weeks, and there was one other SLIS student that went at the time, and we did, we turned it into sort of a independent study kind of thing, where we presented on our experience when we came back, and it was really amazing. But unfortunately, this group, World Library Partnership, either no longer exists at all. I know it no longer has an Africa program. They may still be doing something in Central America. I'd have to look that up, but World Library Partnership was doing things. And then I know more recently some students went abroad to
Botswana. We had that for 2 years.
I don't know if you know if that's still going on, but it's something that Louise.
Right, we wanted to do an exchange where they would come here instead of us keep sending people there, so we're waiting to hear back from them. But we did that. A student, I think on our own, just decided to go to Peru last summer for several weeks. And what else do we do? We have study trips, not so much to work in libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Several people went to Germany in May, I think it was May, and also trips to Ireland. And there's other opportunities we can talk about. I love international travel, so definitely we'll talk.
There's also IFLA. IFLA, that's I-F-L-A. I don't know the full accent for
International
Federation of Libraries.
Association.
And they'll be in Finland this summer.
Sure, they also sponsor a scholarship for one student every year to go.
To attend the conference.
To attend the
Yeah,
conference.
that sounds right.
From what I understand, they don't get that many applications. So I think.
Well, you know, Lorraine Roy is really good about going all over the world
Lorraine
with
goes
her
all over
work,
the
so
world.
I don't know, Anjali, if you have any insights as to how she operates,
I
because
have-
she's.
I mean, yeah, we can talk about that
I
later.
got you too. All about that, so definitely.
I can also just, I've been getting information about international, I also work with Professor Kaplan, she's very interested in international stuff, so I can just do some Facebook and.
Okay, yeah, I'm supposed to talk to her soon too, so I'm just like, it's my first year, I wanna immerse myself as much as possible in this, because it's part of my passion. T-Lab is too now, so I'm like,
Passionate.
yeah.
You can help build a library in a rural community. North Wisconsin.
We might have time for another question or two, and then we can end the panel, maybe talk informally as we wrap up.
Gonna plan.
Any other questions from the audience? Any last minute comments from the panelists?
Well, one of the questions that's on here that I don't know if you guys would find interesting for us to answer or not is, what was it like working in various library settings?
Yeah, please.
So, do you mean like on campus or just any libraries? Anything?
Anything.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna say to that yet, but
Oh,
maybe someone else
okay.
wants to answer it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Library cave. What was that like?
I think